This is Linda
And this is Leslie.
with Let's Talk.
Let's talk, Linda. I got to tell you something that was so fun. I just spent like a lot of time with family this past few weeks. We were with Angel's family, his sister and brother in law, who have been married for 61 years.
Wow.
And then we left from there and spent time with my family, my uncle and aunt, who have been married 52 years. And it was so neat to see how it doesn't matter how long you've been married, you still argue.
Yes, that is true. We've been married 29 years now. This month,
Wow,
29 years.
29 years,
Yeah.
Linda.
Yeah. And
Man.
we honestly didn't even figure out marriage in general until like 27, 26 years ago.
So maybe 2 years ago.
2 years ago. But it's neat because like we have a family member that came and stayed with us for spent a night. And we saw them just like the younger version of us, of just like, and the thing
Yes.
is, they don't look at it as argument. And even when we saw it, we were like, no, that's what we looked like. I was like, that's what we look like when we talk and people look at us and they think we're arguing because we're not. We're just talking and we're expressing how we feel at that moment, at that time.
Yeah. Yep. And it's so funny. We were riding in the car with my uncle and aunt, and my uncle was driving. And while he was driving, I was putting on the brakes. You know how you do. And so, no, let me back it up. Angel was driving, and while Angel was driving, I was putting on the brakes. So my uncle was like, "Don't worry, Faith still does it to me. Every time I drive, she's putting on the brake, or she's holding on to the dashboard, or she's holding on to the handlebar." And I'm like, "Oh." And he says, "It doesn't matter how long you've been married, you still don't trust the way your spouse drives." And I'm like, "That is so true." And I looked at Angel, I said, "See? See?"
Our house is the opposite. I trust my husband. My husband doesn't trust me. He's
You
like,
don't trust me either. Oh my goodness, girl. I just laughed and laughed and laughed. And I couldn't help but think about when I was growing up, seeing how they acted towards each other. I'm like, man, Uncle Dwayne and Faith, all they do is argue. All they do is argue. Blah, blah. Girl, why did we sound like Uncle Dwayne and Aunt Faith while we were there? I said, oh goodness gravy, I got to watch this. But it's so true. It doesn't matter. We can go into some very heated debates, heated discussions. Angel does something that makes me laugh and it's over. We don't stay mad.
Yes, that
Mhm.
breaks it. For whatever reason, that breaks it. That laugh when you can laugh at it. Or you realize in the argument, like, are we really arguing over that? Like, is it really that serious? So that's the neat thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I got to tell you too, one of the other things while we were in the car, my uncle's so funny. He is so funny. Um, Uncle Dwayne was saying something, and then Fefe made like a little snide remark, and he was like, "Where did that come from?" So that was a central joke all throughout the ride. We were going to Tennessee. That was the ride. The conversation we were saying, where did that come from? Where did that come from? And so Angel was like, well, Uncle wants to do this. Uncle wants to do that. And he's like, stop talking about me like I'm not here. So everybody was arguing. I mean, it was all hilarious. All we did was laugh, laugh, laugh. And I think that is so key, Linda.
Laughing together, doing the good
Yes.
and the bad, when you can
Yes.
laugh it through. Yeah.
Yes. I tell you, I don't know. Just watching them as an example growing up, I said, I don't want to argue like they argue as a kid, but like you just said, it's not really arguing. You just discussing, and maybe your voice goes up or whatever. But afterwards, it's just no big deal. And he tells a story like you've been there. Every time he tells a story, Aunt Fefe laughs like she heard it for the first time. I
Oh.
love that. And I'm like, oh wow, how many times has she heard this story? Laughs like it's the first time. And he says that he's like, I tell the same story, and she laughs like it's the first time she heard it.
That's sweet. So she can actually like picture him doing something or something.
Exactly, exactly. You would really get a kick out of just watching them, girl, because it is like a reality show every day, every day. And his sister and brother-in-law who've been married for 61 years, I thought she was so mild-mannered and she was so sweet. She's so quiet. Girl, she's a firecracker too. Boy, they were going, and all it was in Spanish, and I don't speak, as much Spanish, and I understand a little more than I speak it. But girl, the whole conversation was in Spanish, but I knew what they were saying. I knew that tone.
That's neat. That's exciting that we can be around family and see that, because I think that helps us realize we're not alone.
Yeah,
That every marriage, you can have a good marriage but still have that disagreement. And
yeah,
actually disagreement, I really think, is very healthy and good when you're able to express your disagreement. Now, when you put it
yes,
in and don't say anything, I think that's very toxic for you. But when you can express it and let it out and let the partner know, because when I said I do, I never said I do to hurt my husband. I
that's
said I do
good,
to be
Linda.
a helpmate, to love him and to be there for him. So when he tells me, this bothers him or something, I might get it wrong a couple of times, but each time I'm still working on it to get it right. Do you know what I mean? Like it might take me a while, a
Yeah,
couple of years. In other cases, I can get it right away. But at the same time,
yeah.
as long as I'm trying to move forward, as long as we're trying to move forward, I think that's very healthy.
Yes, yes, that's so true. And for me, I don't have anywhere to go. See, back in the day, I could say, I'm going to my mama's house. I'm going to the basement. And I can't even lock the door because the door doesn't lock. So, I mean, it's not like I can really escape. Where am I going to go? So, I have to work through this.
Yeah. But I think that's the best thing, because when we moved out of state, it was the same thing. It's like, but it taught us that we had to depend on each other. We needed to go through that. We were
Yeah,
married very young. So we were very young and still learning. And I think that's what it is. We need to learn ourselves. We're still
mhm,
growing and maturing and, having knowledge of who we are, let
yeah,
alone feeling secure of who we are and feeling secure with that person that they are going to love us through our weakness and through
mhm,
our difficult times and our struggles. The worst, are they going to still love me during the worst part of seeing the worst part of me?
yeah,
And the
yeah,
hard part is, if when we feel like they don't, then we make excuses, we hide it and all this other stuff, and that's when we get in trouble.
yeah, that's true, Linda. Did you have good example growing up of marriage?
No, I mean, no, I'm not gonna say I had. I saw some healthy marriages
Mhm.
back then. See, this is the part where it's hard to answer, because if you would have asked me back then, I would have said yes, because that's all I knew.
Okay.
Now, taking classes, being married 29 years, seeing people have been married 50 years, 60 years, you know what I mean? Like longer, seeing
Yeah.
other things in life, my maturity level has changed, my knowledge has changed. I can look back now, as of today, I would probably say no. Like everybody was separated or divorced, or you know what I mean? Or if they
Okay.
stayed together, it seemed like they stayed together for the kids or for
Okay.
and
Yep.
that's just my opinion. I don't know why they stayed together, but it just, or maybe it just worked. Or maybe they were arguing and I didn't think it was a good marriage. Now that I know it is, I'll have to relook at that.
Okay.
Like,
Exactly. Exactly.
so that's a
Yeah.
kind of a hard question. I mean, to
Yeah.
ask without really processing it. Well,
Yeah.
have to think it through. What about you?
Well, my parents were divorced when I was growing up, and my grandmother raised us, so my grandfather was gone by the time we had gotten there. He had passed away. So I didn't have like any examples all the time in front of us. Like I had my uncle and aunt who we would see, summer or Christmas or whatever. And that was just for a short period of time. Then I had neighbors. they were married, but we didn't see those things because as kids, you didn't see anything. Your parents, and as a kid, you just see what it is. So you're not really dissecting anything. So I think I had to learn my marriage, and I'm still learning my marriage now because everybody's different. Their personalities are so different. And I got to tell you again, one thing, I'm going back to his sister, after Angel had a little issue, a little disagreement with his sister, she came to me in Spanish. She was like, and I understood this. He's just like our dad. He's just like our dad. I'm shaking my head. Maybe a couple hours later, she was blowing up at him. So, okay, now you're just like dad too.
What's
But
right?
it's true, Linda. I mean, our examples are really all we have to go on. But think about even in the Bible, our example is Jesus Christ. And how do we live and pattern our life? It's by what we read and what we've been taught, in scriptures. So is the same, I guess, with marriage. You pattern your marriage after, I'm sure, the early part of your marriage by what you saw in your parents. I patterned my marriage by, really, I didn't have really many examples because I was grown and gone, but I shouldn't say that. I did have some examples. Like my friends that were married for a long period of time, I saw on the outside looking in, like, oh, okay, that seems right. That looks right. They seem like they're happy. They're not arguing, but you don't know what goes on behind closed doors. So,
But you know what? TV, books, love
yes,
songs, all that influences without even realizing it. I thought we didn't have a good marriage because we argued, period. We argued, and actually we both kind of felt that way because we hear other people, oh, we never argued or we never, you know what I mean? And it's like,
yeah,
okay, I know we did a lot of wrong things. We did the wrong way around. But it's like that got stuck in our head to a certain point. And then one day my husband was like, we're not Disney. We're not, this is the real world.
yeah.
It's what you do after you argue. What do you do after you get frustrated with that person?
Yeah.
That's what matters, because a real world, real people, you're going to have disagreements, and it's okay, and discuss it so you won't keep having it. But to discuss it is going to be a little messy, a little ugly, long as it doesn't be disrespectful, long as it's, you know what I
Yes.
mean, like still done in
Yes.
love to
Yeah.
help each other grow closer together instead of falling apart.
Yes. That's good, Linda. That's really good. I like that because you said something very wise. You're not messy. You're not going to hurt someone or hit them below the belt. That's going to really break them down. Because what good is that? What good is that? So that's good, Linda. Now, did you see that? Because I know you've done a lot of classes on like marriage and relationships and like that. Did you see a lot of that while you were counseling young couples?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing in marriage, and even when you talk to people, is communication. When you break down that communication, when you stop communicating, it's really hard to have a relationship with somebody. And when you predetermine what this person is saying, like they could actually say sorry, and you're like, no, you're not. Or no, I meant this. No, you didn't. You know what I mean? Like they already shut down. You have to keep that mind open and not prejudge that person or give them a chance to change or make it right. We were doing something yesterday, and I was watching a show, which I don't watch TV that often, but I was watching a show, and my husband decided to sit with me because I don't watch TV that often. And he missed the main part of it. Like it's like the middle at the best part, like the middle end, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and it's at the best part. So I'm trying to pay attention.
And he's talking.
And he's not, what is she? What is that? What is he? Why is he? You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
just like just stop and watch the movie. He was like,
I'm trying to watch movie.
And I felt so bad because he just took a deep breath and said, okay. And then he did it again. And I'm like, I made like that noise, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And he was like, forget it. And he just got to go.
He walked away after you missed the movie because he was talking.
And I felt so horrible after. This is the worst part. There was a pause button. I could have done. He does that for me every single time because I'll
Oh,
come in there and see, okay, what are you watching? Because I'm really picky about what I watch.
yes.
I'm just that way. But I know he loves me sitting on the couch watching TV with him. So I ask him questions first before I determine if I'm going to sit down. What is it about? Is there
Yeah.
any cussing, fighting? You know what I mean? Like,
Yes, yes.
is this a dark movie? Is this a happy movie? Is this a funny movie? I have
Yeah,
tons of
yes, yes.
and he always just paused and answered my questions. And
Oh,
I couldn't do that. I was so involved in this movie and I had to think when he got up and walked away, all this guilt just fell on me like
oh,
why
wow.
couldn't you just pause it? I mean, it's a movie that you could just pause like this. Why couldn't you pause it and answer his questions like he do for you every single time? Like everything I come and watch, I'll ask all these questions first. Why couldn't I give him that same respect?
Oh, wow.
So I got up and I said, redo, can I have a redo?
Oh, wow.
Like, and basically a redo is, can you like forgive me? I realize I messed up. I want to make it right. I want to make our relationship stronger. Can I, I need a redo. I need a redo.
Wow.
So, but sometimes we need a lot of redos. But
Yes, we do.
but the simple thing is I could have just paused it. And I
Yeah.
have no excuse because he does it every single time for me.
Did he give you the redo? No, no, I already know.
He already was involved in something else, so he said, like,
Forget it.
he's good, yeah. So,
Yep, yep. Yes, 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 yes. So that's why I knew what the answer was.
But there is time he does do the redo, but this time he didn't. Last night he didn't give me a redo. Which was okay because I finished watching my movie and enjoyed myself.
So it was a win-win. It was a win-win for everybody.
Yeah. So, and then of course I go in there afterwards and be sweet, like, hey baby, what you do?
And he's like, mm.
And see, that's what a real marriage is.
It's not Hollywood. Oh yeah, I'm fine. Come on in and sit down. Nope. The real deal is start looking at somebody sideways.
Yeah.
You know you made me mad.
But still, by the end of the night, everybody's okay. Go to bed, wake up, and forget that it happens until you bring
Absolutely.
it up on the podcast.
Absolutely. That's the truth. And Linda, I think that's one of the things, and I don't always get it right, but we definitely try not to go to bed angry.
Mhm.
We definitely try not to go to bed angry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even if and sometimes he'll go to bed and I know he's not asleep. So I go in there and I'll just breathe on his ear or, breathe in his face. And I'm like, I know you're okay. Anything to make him laugh because I know he's not going to be mad if I'm. And he's like, Mommy, just stop, your breath stinks, stop, or something, just so that we both can start laughing.
Oh, it's so funny how you said he told you your breath stink. I used to take it personal. He goes, in the morning, you kiss or something, they're like, baby, you brush your teeth. Now I realize it's actually a healthy, good thing that he could tell me, he was like, once you start brushing your teeth at night. It's like,
Oh, you should. We definitely brush our teeth at night before you go to bed. Remember how we were raised?
I
We
forget
wake up in the
sometimes,
morning.
okay? A lot of times. So, all the time.
Yes, yes, yes. Linda, I tell you, it's so funny. Life is so funny, but I think it's a good thing that life is funny with somebody you love.
Yes.
That's really what it boils down with. Somebody you love, somebody, doesn't matter how we have the good days, the bad days, and it's so funny. And like, we travel together. We spent a lot of time together. And usually when we come back, I'm like, I'm out of here. I'm going to spend time with my sister. I'm going to spend time with my mom, whatever, anything so we can break up that, because we call it TMT, too much together. So we need a break from each other. But this time it was really nice. No TMT, I guess because we were so busy laughing at his sister arguing, and I was laughing at my family arguing. So I don't know. It was just a different time this time. So.
I love that. And I think that's true because I remember with the, um, was it 2020 with the virus and everybody starts staying home? I'm thinking, can we do this?
Yes.
We're good, but are we that good?
Yes, that's true. It shows you what you're made of.
And I remember like, can we really do this? I mean, like I teach classes on communication. I talk about it all the time. Can we really do this? This is the test, you know, like am I gonna
Yes.
pass? Am I gonna fail? You know, do I need a new career?
I can't be up there lying, telling people to do stuff and I'm not doing it.
Yeah, because you'll call me out on it. So, and we started doing it and it was neat. And I think what helped us and might help other couples, the main thing is not focusing on him, focusing on me. And when we do focus on anything else besides ourselves, it's focus on what's going on in the world to be a team instead of each other.
That's good.
And I think
Can you say that again, Linda? Say that one more time, because I think that that's very powerful. Say it again.
it's focusing on everything else that you're working together, that you're focusing on the same thing together or on yourself. You're not focusing on your partner. When you focus on your partner, like on vacation and different things, you're looking for their faults and they get tired of hearing that. Instead, focus on your team. So focus on what's going on for both of you guys, not just what's going on for you. And if you
I like that.
focus on something else, focus on you. How can I be a better spouse?
I like that.
And I think
like
that's
that.
what helped when we finally learned that when we do long trips. Because when you do long trips, and I know what you meant, because we used to do drives like 3-day drives or 2-day drives, you know, to from California to Illinois or whatever. Yes. And I was the same way, like, can we do this? Like in the car nonstop, saying
yes,
you know.
Yes.
And when it's to the point of enjoying the trip together, not saying drive faster, drive slower, you doing this, you're doing that, why are you eating this, you know, like just enjoying the trip together, not focusing on your partner.
Linda, I'm going to pause there because I think that is key. Enjoying the trip together, and marriage is a trip in a good way. I like that, enjoying the trip together. And that's really what it's about. We're not focusing on one person, all their faults or good points, whatever. We're enjoying this trip together.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm going to borrow that, and I'm going to say that this is what it's all about. It's about life's lessons, and it's about laughter. And that's really what we've been talking about, is laughing with each other and laughing with our spouses and laughing at each other and laughing together. And it's about love, because really the goal is to make relationships that last. So here it is, people. If you like what you heard, and I know you did, because I liked it, Linda liked it. So two together, that means you guys gotta like it too. Please be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to this channel so that you can hear more podcasts and broadcasts just like this, because we want to get this message out to as many people as we can on the other side, because we want to enjoy this trip together.
Ooh. Until next time, bye.